Welcome everyone to Florida Citrus Mutual's annual meeting, held at the 2015 Industry Annual Conference. This is the 10th year at the Coconut Point Hyatt in Bonita Springs. Where did the decade go? I know it's been a tough decade for our industry. We could call it the era of HLB. So it's a good thing so many growers and allied businesses find the time to come to the conference. Thank you. The good news, in despite of the challenges facing the industry, Mutual had an extremely productive year. People say you really find out who your friends are during the difficult times. And I kind of feel that way about Mutual. Anyone can be good when it's easy, breezy time, but leadership rises to the top during hardships. It's time like these where growers really need representation locally, in Tallahassee, in Washington, and internationally. Well, the big news in our review last year was the Farm Bill allocation of $125 million over the next 5 years for citrus disease research. That money is now flowing to the best citrus scientists in the world. The second round of funding is ongoing. You will hear more about the Citrus Disease Subcommittee, which helps manage the funding for the USDA, tomorrow at the educational session. Just like we envisioned, the money is increasing research projects and helping mitigate the tax burden on the Florida citrus grower. In addition to the distribution of the Farm Bill funding, Florida Citrus Mutual is active in the annual federal appropriation process. We want to maintain CHIRP and MAC dollars. Another big push for our industry in 2014-15 and beyond is getting trees in the ground. As you know, trees are the lifeblood of our industry, and by some estimates, we need an additional 20 million trees to continue to support our current infrastructure. So a main focus of Florida Citrus Mutual was to support and encourage incentive programs designed to spur planting. The USDA's creation of the Tree Assistance Program for citrus growers was part of that effort. The TAP provides financial assistance to qualifying citrus growers to plant or rehabilitate eligible trees damaged by natural disasters, including HLB. For citrus greening losses, assistance applies to replanting, planting cost, and site preparation. After a few initial hiccups, those checks are now getting to the growers, and I believe TAP will help us far into the future. Furthering the push for planting incentives, Mutual launched an initiative to amend the IRS tax code. Under the proposal, growers would elect to expense the cost of trees, planting, development, and maintaining a new citrus grove for a period of 10 years. This incentive will be a game changer, and I'm optimistic something will be in Congress during our calendar 2015 year to get this change codified. The vehicle could be one of the many tax extenders scheduled to be debated later this year. Another federal issue includes our industry's ability to have a reliable, affordable workforce. Today, the best way to achieve that goal is through a national H-2A program. Nearly 85% of our crop is harvested by H-2A labor. However, the H-2A program is not without issues. We remind policymakers at every chance we get that we must have a workable guest worker program, whether that means improving the H-2A visa program or creating something new. Under the current administration, this effort is an uphill climb because immigration reform is such a complex issue and agriculture is trapped in the comprehensive immigration debate. But we must continue to push the H-2A program, even if it's a piece-by-piece manner. We need the United States Department of Labor to enforce the current rules, improve the current wage calculation, and ultimately have Congress move the oversight of the H-2A program from the United States Department of Labor to the United States Department of Agriculture. The USDA is much more in tune with the businesses of American farmers, and they understand the industry labor's needs. Heading south to Tallahassee, the Florida citrus industry and Florida Citrus Mutual continues to have a strong presence. Although the Medicaid battle stalled the appropriation process, at the time this review was taped, we stood in a great position to have our legislative agenda approved during the special session. Our agenda included more than $8 million appropriated for citrus research, as well as major funds for the Florida Department of Agriculture citrus programs, and a significant request to supplement the Florida Department of Citrus marketing programs and new variety activities. In total, over $22 million is anticipated from the state general revenue to assist Florida citrus. Governor Rick Scott, Commissioner Adam Putnam, Senators Alan Hayes and Denise Grimsley, as well as House Speaker Steve Crisafulli and Representative Ben Albritton, Chairman of the House Agriculture and Appropriation Committee, each remained staunch allies of this industry, and I cannot thank each and every one of them enough. Of course, a big part of what we do at Mutual is fundraising for candidates who support and understand agriculture and Florida citrus. The 2014-15 season represented one of the most successful fundraising years this organization has ever had for both state and federal candidates. We put our money where our mouth is for many citrus supporters, including Governor Rick Scott, United States Congressman Vern Buchanan, Tom Rooney, and Dennis Ross. Our Fed PAC was on the move. Our grassroots campaign, where new members joined the Fed PAC family for a $25 donation, was very successful. We also created some new benefits and events for people who give to the Fed PAC, including the Political Insider newsletter and our first ever Fed PAC clay shoot. If you haven't given to the Fed PAC, do it now. In addition to the massive undertaking known as the Florida Citrus Industry Annual Conference, your staff was once again actively involved in the planning and execution of the Citrus Hall of Fame Luncheon, the HLB Conference, the Crop Estimate Luncheon at the Davis Barn, and 4 area meetings and elections. All told, these events attracted more than 2,500 people. The HLB Conference alone drew more than 500 scientists from around the world to share ideas and information. While we're talking about the Davises, sadly we lost Joe L. Davis Sr. this year. Of course, Joe was a longtime Mutual member and a former director. I consider him a friend, and we all know he loved this industry. We send our prayers to the Davises and all the Mutual families who lost loved ones this year. During the 2014-15 season, Mutual continued to work with our colleagues at the Florida Department of Citrus and the Florida Citrus Commission on a number of issues, including fruit price indexing, rulemaking, grower assessments, and the exploration of a federal research and promotion program. Of course, all of Mutual's activities are guided by a 21-member board of directors who volunteer their time to serve the Florida citrus growers. Membership elected 4 new members in this past season who will officially join the board shortly. Welcome to Michael Prescott, Andy Russell, Daniel Skousen, and Kyle Story. Florida Citrus Mutual's board of directors have been extremely fiscally responsible over the past decade. This year, the assessment remained at 3.9 cents per box for the 6th year in a row. Our audit came back clean as a whistle, and with the crop numbers decreasing, your organization continued to cut costs in a strategic manner. For example, we saved more than $40,000 a year by eliminating the hard copy of the triangle and going 100% electronic. At this time, I would personally like to thank President Larry Black for his support and assistance during his first year in office. Larry is passionate about his business and the Florida citrus industry, and it shows. He did a great job with the board, elected officials, as well as the media during the year. One more note about the board. Both Mark Wheeler and Vic Story won prestigious awards last year. Vic was named the 2015 Swisher Sweet Sunbelt Florida Farmer of the Year, and Mark was given the Florida Advocate Award from the Agriculture Institute. Congratulations on well-deserved honors. Before I wrap it up, I want to emphasize Florida Citrus Mutual's relationships with our state and federal elected officials. These relationships are key to most of what we do. The planning tax incentive, that's not going to happen without a focused lobbying effort. Research funding from the state and federal programs, not going to happen without a focused lobbying effort. So I encourage you to encourage your fellow growers to join Mutual. You cannot hold leadership accountable by looking the other way. Stay engaged, participate. We survived and ultimately thrived after the catastrophic freezes of the 80s due to the hard work of many in this room. We beat Tristasia. We made it through the hurricanes. We will beat greening. Don't write our obituary just yet. On behalf of the Florida citrus grower, Florida Citrus Mutual will remain focused, committed, and making a difference.